No separation exists between us and books. Simulating oneness, this program analyzes, reviews, and breaks down books across all genres through a conscious lens. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ian Kadanak, aka The Writing Renegade from ConsciousWritersTribe.com, and today I am here to give an intro to my 2020 challenge of reading and reviewing 200 books. I am doing this to help find and establish a community of writers, readers, and free thinkers, and facilitate a co-creative experience where listeners can come on and talk about books that are being reviewed and influence the books that are being read. Most book reviews on YouTube that I watch are 5 to 20 minutes in length, have a bunch of affiliate links and subscription stuff involved, and don't really go that deep into the books at hand. And plus, a lot of the books being reviewed are the top bestsellers of fantasy and crime and thrillers. And I would like to do the opposite of that and do reviews that are 45 minutes to 90 minutes in length and dive deep into a bunch of topics into the book and bring in critical theory and other theorists' thoughts on the books. And then for really good books, provide supplementary videos where I dive into very specific topics about characters or about the plot structure and whatnot to help really just establish a bunch of content for free about books. Right now, a lot of information about books is occulted. They're in journals that no one reads, and in unaccessible formats and written in unaccessible ways that use a lot of literary jargon. And my goal here is to run through a whole presentation at once with slides, good audio, and make it entertaining, and hopefully bring on some listeners and really get this train rolling of changing the whole atmosphere of YouTube book reviews. And I would just like to say that literature has changed my life, and it is one of the most beautiful things in the world, as I'm sure you know. And no matter what your psychological or financial situation right now or at any time in your life, you can read the greatest books in the world, and that can really flip the energy of your life. And no matter if you're poor or rich, you can get books legally or illegally. And I'm here to encourage you and help you have some fun while doing it. Once you're done with the book, come, make some, hear about the book, comment about the book, think about the book in different ways. So, and also this year, I want to create that habit of reading books because I think it establishes a certain amount of integrity on an intellectual and on a spiritual level. And I should say that all these book reviews are going to be done from a conscious level where I'm going to try and use a conscious or spiritual lens to examine the books from a multitude of different ways, but bring in things like the occult topics like the tarot, the Kabbalah, astrology, just any type of topic that really helps examine the book in a deeper way, because we need to write and read books that change the world. Our job here is to change the world. Writing one book that reaches millions of people could change 10 million people's perspective. One person can change a whole country or a whole world's perspective. Think of Harry Potter. Harry Potter was read by tens of millions, if not 100 million people. And if people's perspective slowly shifted and the market was for something a little bit deeper than Harry Potter, even though Harry Potter is great, then the world would grow at an exponential rate because literature is boundless. So whenever you're watching this, I'm going to have this whole thing cataloged, this 2020 challenge on Goodreads and on my personal website. And I'll have just what I have read and what I'm going to read. And there is going to be a forum on ConsciousWritersTribe.com where we can discuss books and go deeper, and you can get you can ask me questions and I'll respond by video or by text. We can set up a Skype call and talk about anything. I just want to make this super fun and just meet really smart people around the world. because I love books and I love people who like books. So what are the categories of books I'm going to be reading? None of these books are going to be wash up books, like, 100 page, 150 page Kindle Unlimited books. These are going to be the best fiction, poetry, philosophy, psychology, history, writing books, books about writing, critical theory books, and just nonfiction books of all kinds. That's going to be the scope of this, just totally across the board. And I am also going to, like I said, be doing even further breakdowns of the books. And I really hope that I get callers in this whole group of people who will come in and get in, like will interview before or during a live review, because we can live stream these reviews also. So there are going to be, at this point, 3 author focuses this year where I am going to really dive deep into 3 authors. And right now those are, or actually, I guess 4 authors, 3 fiction, 1 poet. The 4 authors are going to be Kazuo Ishiguro, Haruki Murakami, Cormac McCarthy, and Robert Bly. Those are basically, for sure, the last 3 are my favorite writers. For sure top 5. Ishiguro is probably in my top 10. And I'm going to be making probably 10 to 25 videos. I'm going to review all their books, make 10 to 25 videos about those books for each author, write an imitation short story. So we'll say for Cormac McCarthy, I'm going to kind of do a short story imitation and break that down of his work, like do like a westerny, dreamy type thing like McCarthy likes to do, and break that down so I can and challenge other people to do it so we can see how Cormac really writes, like examine and try to recreate it so we can understand it on a personal level, what he's really trying to do and why it works. And hopefully I'm going to, and also I should say, every book review, supplementary video is going to have a text format. So that will differ differ a little from the video presentation. And so if people who like reading more can read a review or read about, the breakdown. And this will all be for free, no advertisement sidebars on consciouswriterstribe.com or on the YouTube channel, because I want this to be accessible. I want this information out there. I want people to start thinking more about books. And I was also thinking of, at the very end of like these author deep dives, compiling all this information into a book that'll maybe exchange for your, an email address or sell for 99 cents on Amazon or something. So if you want that in like a, more accessible format like PDF or on Kindle, I'll maybe do that. That sounds like a good idea. So just a few more authors I'll just talk about real fast. A few more authors I'm going to dive deep into this year. For sure, in the philosophy realm, Martin Heidegger and Schelling and Hegel. I'm really into that German idealism line right now, starting with Spinoza and then going into the mystics and Schelling, Hegel, maybe, Marx took from that, and then kind of accumulating with Martin Heidegger, Being in Time, and a bunch of his other works, which are phenomenal. And I would really like to do a hardcore breakdown of Being in Time, like 25, 30 hours worth of breakdowns, maybe even more, bring in some of my good buddies who really like Heidegger and get their opinions on it all. And then for psychology, I would like to focus on the whole Vienna Circle, Freud, Jung, Rank, and Reich this year, and plus a bunch of other stuff, but really break down some of their books. For Otto Rank, Art and the Artist, just all of Jung's books. I just really want to get into that. I already am, but just the Jungian world is just enormous. Just all the different authors too. It's just it's definitely a rabbit hole that I love. For history, I'll just keep continuing with Will Durant. Maybe I should do some other books, but Will Durant's Story of Civilization series, I'm on book 5, I think, out of 10, 12, and it's like a 12,000 book series. I don't know how I'm really going to review them. What's the point? But that's my history focus this year still. For critical theory, Derrida and Foucault probably are going to be the big names I'll be hopping into. And then there'll be a bunch of Eastern philosophy, of course, because I have a yoga website, savvyzen.com, where I do a lot of yoga philosophy and Eastern philosophy stuff. So I'll be breaking down the books I read for that. And then for poetry, of course, All of Robert Bly's stuff, I'm going to read that. A lot of Chinese poetry. I really want to imitate the Chinese poets this year. And then the Spanish surrealists such as Antonio Machado, Octavio Paz, Lorca, that whole circle. I want to read a bunch of their work and review it because that's some of my favorite. Gary Snyder is another person I want to just kind of read the whole collection of this year and review because he's a phenomenal writer. And yeah, just a lot of people, the Norwegian poets, Rilke, Rolf Jacobson, Olav Haag, Rilke, there's a ton of people. And with this cap of 200 books, which is 16 books a week, that's a lot that I can get to this year. So that's why I set it so high. And a lot of these books aren't going to be, easy books to get through. Like, Being in Time, only counts as 1, and that's really should count as like 10 because it's going to be a slog. But, comment down below or, send me a private message about books you want me to read or for support, or if you want to join in on this challenge. If you want to review a bunch of books this year or you review books, just leave a comment and I'll subscribe to your channel and watch some of your videos because let's get this community rock and rolling. Let's break out of this mold that we've been put into with, Anyway, this is Ian Kanak. You can find all this information on consciouswriterstribe.com or on my Goodreads account, which is linked in the bio. I will see you guys later, and let's hope I get to 200.